My name is Azfa. I'm from Sekolah Global Indo Asia. I'm currently in grade 11 and I'll be explaining about friction by using F1 tire as an example.
Before we start, I would like to explain what friction means. Friction is a force resisting the relative motion of solid surfaces, fluid layers, and material elements sliding against each other. But for today, I would like to only discuss about the friction in solids. The formula for friction is μ times R, μ being the coefficient of friction and R being the normal contact force. Now let's proceed to how F1 tires or generally tires are related to friction. F1 has two sets of tires, dry slick tires and wet tires. Let's discuss about the slick tires first. They have 5 sets of tires, C1 to C5, C1 being the hardest, and C5 being the softest compound of tires. You may ask, what does this matter? First of all, soft tires have higher coefficient of friction, so it has a better grip than the hard tires. So this is C1 and this is C5. This is how a slick tire looks like. Slick means slippery or smooth, and it best describes the surface of the tire. It has no treads whatsoever. It's fully flat, but why is it slick? Well, to begin with, we know that more surface area equals to more friction, as more areas are exposed to the surface of the tarmac. Therefore, these tires will grip to the tarmac better than the tires that has treads. That's why these tires are used for the dry weather. The hot tarmac will cause the tires to be more malleable than it already is. Fun fact, before these F1 cars get to the grid, the tires are heated first. You may ask why. The reason is because the air inside the tires will have a higher pressure. Thus, it forces the walls of the tires to expand and it will make more surface area and creates more friction. The heat also causes the tires to be more malleable, like I said before. When the tires are hot, they act like they're hugging the tarmac. But when it is cold, less pressure inside. Therefore, less surface area and to make things worse, less malleable, forcing the car to have less grip and generally the car will slip more often. Now here we have what we call wet tires. If you see it here, they have treads. These are called treads. Now what are they for? So tread tires are used in wet condition to maximize more surface area of the tire to touch the tarmac. So these treads function as a passageway for the water to be removed from the surface of the tarmac. But what causes F1 car to aquaplane? If you don't know yet, aquaplane is when the car is lifted above the water, when the tires are lifted above the water by just a bit due to the water accumulating under the tires. So this happens when the treads of the tire could not remove water fast enough. The water will accumulate down here, if you can see here. When this happens, the tires get lifted by just a bit, and sometimes the whole body of the F1 car will be lifted due to the cars being super low to the ground, forcing the car to ride the water instead of its tires sticking to the ground. This will of course causes the car to be uncontrollable. The friction between the car and the water is less in comparison to the friction of the tires to the tarmac. If you see in this picture, you can see that the car is actually riding the water instead the tires touching the tarmac. And so in F1 there's two sets of wet tires. The green ones are called the intermediates and the blue ones are called extra wet tires. The intermediates are used in less rainy days, usually when it's drizzling. But extra wet tires are used when it's raining heavily. It's worth noting that these wet tires are 10 mm thicker than the dry tires. This extra 10 mm is enough to prevent a whole body aquaplaning as it is shown here. According to Pirelli, the creator of these tires, the intermediates can remove 30 liters of water per second in 300 km per hour speed. Meanwhile, the extra wet can remove a whopping of 85 liters of water per second in 300 kilometers per hour. That is the reason why it's almost impossible for racers behind the first car to see the circuit in front of them during wet season or wet days. You can see how much of the water is being spat out by the tires here. I think that's a wrap. I've covered the topic friction by using F1 tires as an example. I hope this video is useful. Thank you.